Hello fellow academics and welcome back to Beavtorio. We're in episode 2 now, in the middle of a drought, which will hopefully end soon, but we will need to prepare for the incoming doom of the bad tide. So for that, we're already creating our blockage here, which will prevent bad water from seeping into our water supply over there. But with that, we're definitely not gonna be done. We need to figure out how to utilize these water sources in order to get fresh water in here, but not the bad water that will come along. And the way we're going to create this is by building a little water pipe over this way. And very simple. I'm just gonna outline it a little bit over here. We're going to create these outside barriers, which will, kind of just serve as, our channel, basically, for our water to move along. And we will, sorry about that, we will actually build platforms on top. We don't have enough science right now, but if we put in single platforms like this, we can place levees on top to make this watertight. Now, in addition, we also want to make sure we unlock sluices in the long run, and just so we can let the bad water out this way and the good water out this way, and kind of just build all of this up. So in order to do so, we will need levees up this way. Now, if we build a top level here, a platform here, we can have the water come out the top and then just continue our levee system over in this direction. So I'm thinking that should be, nope, this one needs to go in here as well. And once we have unlocked the single platforms, that's exactly where these additional levees are gonna go. So let's make sure we're planning this out to the end. So here we will have a levee in the middle, all the way up to here, and then connect that over this way. And again, just making sure all of that is in just until we are here. And with that, we will actually have built our pathway, flooding pathway, whatever you want to call it, into this direction right here. Now, later on, we might just remove that staircase to bring that pipe directly into this area right there. But we'll see how this goes as things progress. So I'm going to pause the top one so they can actually start building the things underneath. But other than that, I think we're doing okay with that. We have 45 planks. Science is also increasing. We don't have a worker shortage right now, so I think overall we're doing actually pretty well with our colony. Now, as we need sluices and those overhangs, we need metal blocks, which means we need gears and we need scrap metal. So I think now it is actually, well, they have actually not removed these yet. And instead there's a new tree that has popped up on this side. So let me go ahead and actually high prioritize these to be chopped down. So I can just remove them and we can finally make that connection over to the other side. And actually one more. Mark for destruction. Here we go. Highest priority. So this is done as well. And you guys have nothing left to do, which means I should also... Ah, come on, guys. Somebody should have hammered that into existence. Because once this is in, they have more trees to chop down as we are waiting for the rest to just grow up. And I also just need to highlight more to be cut down by our lumberjacks. All right. There we go. Drought is over. So we're again in a, well, slightly better position, I would say. Don't know if it would be much better, but definitely slightly better. Let's also make sure we have another path down here, as this will help us in the long run, and probably one more staircase right there. Again, just for the future, for our beavers to work on. All right. It is probably also time for us to move our lumberjacks a little bit closer to this corner. Just one there and there. Let's go ahead and high prioritize both of them and then remove these. And now let's have a look, because we have, well, technically 3 unemployed beavers, but those won't last long. But with this woodcutter over here in, and the 2 that we are just placing over here, that 3 employee is definitely gonna be gone immediately. All right. So let's go over here and start expanding our colony in this section right there. And this will be our food supply area. Just making sure we're properly connecting that through. Well, at least planning to the way we're gonna connect this through. And then we'll set the efficient farmhouse. Just over there. Actually, it can back out a little bit more. Could even place it here. Yeah, let's do that. All right. Now, making sure that we're not putting 3 workers in there, but only 2. It's too far from the district center, right? Because we haven't connected up this path. Now it's connected, so they will actually be able to deal with these and get this going pretty fast. I would hope so, at least. Next thing, placing carrots in here, actually leaving a gap relatively close there. So once we have the science, we can actually put the scavenger flag over here and then harvest that scrap metal. All right, carrot goes in here. I'm also going to high prioritize you. And we'll make sure that we have a path over in this direction, which will also allow us put another staircase here and place one more lumberjack over in this. How do we have 7 unemployed beavers, all of us? Oh, I see, I see. That makes sense. Forgot to lower this. We want to fill this up, and all of this needs to, well, keep working. So there we go. All right, all right. Almost killed our beavers. Cool. With that, only 2 unemployed beavers. And again, that will very soon, very quickly become basically a moot point for us. Let's high prioritize these. I want them actually to build these levees down here. Not higher priority, slightly lower priority. As we're building the rest of things. All right, what I think we do have now is enough science for the level 1 platform. It is 100 science, so perfect. Leaving that top area here empty for the overhang. This will be a sluice, so we'll need to place it from here onwards. Yep, unlock 100 science, and then we'll keep placing them up. This one needed one more. So do these. just like that. And then continue this, not all the way to the end, just to here. And then we can block off the tops with levee systems. Now we could also unlock the impermeable floors, which might actually make sense. It's 1 metal and only 200 science. We would save a ton of wood if we were to do that. So that'd be great. But also we need to figure out a way to create kind of a top platform over this way. So our beavers don't, so we don't need to build staircases in here. Although we could do staircases. We'll see. Right. Oh, forgot you need to have your trees selected to be chopped down. So there we go. This is sorted. We do have 2 unemployed beavers. We can definitely fix that by very simply adding a couple more science huts, because we definitely need more science. All right, where would be the best place to get our science huts in? And I think we'll actually place them up here. If we do one here and one there, we should actually be able to get a back staircase in this way and connect it up over this direction. Now, why would we put in a back staircase? I guess technically we don't need to right now, but let's plan for it anyways. Okay, the next drought has hit. We're still doing overall okay. Only 1 unemployed beaver. One of them died of old age, unfortunately, but that's okay. So I want to put in another power supply unit up here. I'm going to leave a gap of 1 for now. And then we're already going to unlock and build the wood workshop. So that will allow us to finally produce some gears. Let's also make sure we're just high prioritizing these 2, while low prioritizing, maybe actually the lowest priority for the work space. And we'll be creating these gears so we can, again, build all of our metal production area. The scavenger flag is not going to be the problem. The smelter will cost us 20 gears. And then let's have a look at our overhang. Our overhang doesn't need gears, it just needs metal blocks. And our sluices, I don't think they need metal gears. Yep, they don't. So we'll be okay with that. And they only need 1 metal block as well. Wow, they have built a good amount of this stuff already, using up all of our well-earned planks. Speaking of, because we'll need a ton of planks anyways, I'm already going to put in another wood workshop. So this way we can make better use of our plank situation right here. Then I think in the long term we want to kind of decommission that area, that block pile. But for now, I think it'll do just fine. Also going to make sure we're placing a few more carrot plots in here. That will definitely help us as well. And then we should also consider putting down another medium warehouse so we can actually store carrots. All right, in addition, we need to figure out how we're going to keep pumping out water from here, even if all of this gets flooded with bad water. So I think it would be nice to unlock the triple floodgates. This way we can relatively easily get up to the same level as these levees and then build things on top of this. If we were to place them here, yeah, I don't think this will be tall enough. So what we really need to do over this way is actually keep building this one higher. And yeah, we'll figure that out. Actually, let's do this immediately so we can plan. Again, big fan of setting and forgetting. And that won't work. Which makes me think I have not done a great job at placing this one. Alright, I think a double thing over this way. No, actually what we can already do is, I know we could do impermeable floors here, but instead we're gonna place levees over this way. Now with the levees in here, we'll have a pathway over this way. So what we can do for that is, and again, just to save up a little bit of planks, we'll be able to put down a regular levee system over here. And because we have a ton of logs right now, we're gonna just fill this up with levees as well. So this will allow us to already build, you know what, here we go, 2 water pumpers up here, and we can create a path connection over this way. So planning this out in advance will definitely be beneficial. As, again, the bad tide will come at some point soon, so we'll need to completely remove our colony from this side. So I've already said don't store any logs anymore. We're now going to move them over to our new log pile, which I think will be of great help for us. And we also need to make sure we do have some storage available for our gears. So gears are stored in, I was just going to say warehouses. It's warehouses. Placing 2 of them in here right away. And making sure this is on the highest priority, or higher priority, not necessarily the highest. As this fills up, we will need to store them somewhere. All right, how are things going? You guys are prioritizing, I think, moving this out, but I'm a bit worried about the impending bad tide, so I'm gonna high prioritize this instead. Which, yeah, looks actually just fine. So hold on. Our water pumps won't actually reach down here. At the moment. That is the big point. At the moment they don't reach down here. But oh, not this way. As the drought ends, and definitely during the bad tide, we will fill up this gap here with more liquid, so our water pumpers will actually be able to pump this out. All right. 2 empty work slots. Good, our scientists are not working. These 2 at least. We do have enough science now, though, to unlock the triple platforms. So let's go ahead and do that. And again, we're just working our way. So very close to the source. Without having to touch the water in this section. This will need to be a double. Hold on. Good thing I noticed. we need to still put the... okay. So we could wait until we have the metal unlocked, or we could actually place our levees down already to connect this up. And until we unlock our metal, we're just gonna focus on our levees. All right, metal is still a while out. So let's go in here and just close all of these off. I think that will be good enough for now. And again, we'll keep building these as a priority, as they're definitely our priority. All right. Could use a double platform. It will save us 2 planks. We almost have the signs for it, so I will actually do that. This will be a triple. You will be a double. And then we'll see what we're gonna do after that. All right, got the signs for the double. So now we have all the platforms unlocked and already put down our first bit to create a path into or to build our pipes. All right, you have not been emptied out. But I guess you guys should be using that to build it. This is still open, which means this area is filling up. You are actually ready, not ready, you are harvesting already. So what we can do is move all of our food production over into this corner. So again, we don't need to worry about this when the bad tide hits. And I'm kind of guessing our next stop will be a bad tide. We do have 1 unemployed beaver, so that is something we should fix quickly. Let's see. We don't have the science for the scavenger workshop. What else could we have someone do, though? You know what? It might actually be time to build another builder's hut. And we're just gonna place that one up here. Not enough science points, that makes sense. Here we go. Highest priority. And then I can keep you actually on the normal priority. Or, no, highest priority for building, 1 lower for workshop. For working, not workshop. Sometimes I say weird things. All right, what else is going on? We need to put up our tree supply over this way. Just like this, and here, and all the way down there. Everything has come in now. Oh, they've built both staircases. Sweet. I want to make sure that I leave a path open, just in case we need to get to those trees down here. Which I think overall is probably a good call. They can actually reach quite far. So can you. Very cool. All right, I forgot how far you actually reach. So let's go in here. Close enough. Okay, let's clean this up. Not you and not you. Everything else is correct. Awesome. All right. We should also think about actually moving our berry gatherer in this corner. And if we're doing that, we want a additional food storage. So let's put you in here, set you to berries. That will also help us. Still have a berry gatherer here, which is fine. Can't forget about him, to be honest. So why aren't you building? Oh, because I highest prioritize these. All right, 1 lower priority. I really want them to finish the builder's hut. All right. I think we're making good progress. The next drought is coming. Again, not worried about the drought. We've been doing okay so far. And again, once we have the log pumpers up here, that will do just fine. Although in the long run, we'll probably want to figure something out on how to make better use of this area. And I think the large water pump, actually, it goes 4 down. And we can actually replace both of these with a large water pump. Really struggling with words today. So overall, I think that'll be great to have. All right. This is in. We have 3 beavers in here. I guess our scientists got shortchanged. So let's put you guys on normal priority. In that case, I'd rather have some science than the guys in here. And because we need to get to the 250 science to unlock the scavenger flag. All right. So over here, we should also actually... Now we do have a pathway over this direction. So I'm going to remove you. We can put in a staircase here. And then we can remove the staircases that go down both these directions and start closing this thing off. Well, if we decide to do so. Let me actually, just for my own sanity, shoot. That was more destruction than I expected. So let's quickly put it back in. Things like this happen. And sometimes the game lags a little bit. And I tend to do then these mistakes a lot more often. Right, I also don't need to pause you anymore. So there we go. Almost done with this log pile. Also means we're a little bit short in terms of logs overall. Only have 100 left. Which is in part because I built all those levees over here instead of using planks. But I think it just makes sense. No goods selected. I'm gonna delete you now. You're empty. Let's make sure they collect the last few logs over this way. So we don't need to worry about them potentially just, you know, killing themselves through that. You still have some logs to, not logs, wood to chop down. But I think overall we're making actually decent progress. Let's make sure we have at least one of you up and running before the drought ends. Even though you're already not reaching this anymore. How's that happening? Anyways. For now, these 2 will do, and we might just pause them later until we've figured out our entire water situation over this direction. Would also probably be useful to have a couple of wood pumpers down here, just in case things run a little bit tight. But again, for now, we'll just leave it at that. You guys don't have anything to chop down? It is because I haven't set you guys to chop this stuff down here. So I paused one of them over here will do just fine. Still have a wood chopper over this direction. So all in all, not too bad. We do have enough signs for the scrap metaler. So in he goes. Let's make sure you're on highest priority. Want to make sure you're built and ready to roll for our purposes. And then we want to make sure we have now finally a little bit of water storage. Why does the game sometimes freeze? Usually happens when I'm trying to build something. Alright, here we go. 4 of them, set all of them to water. That should allow us to store about 150 or so. And you've been finished. However, you have nothing to do because the water is too low. So let's pause you. And we're still gonna finish this guy. Beavers aren't super happy. Food there. Why aren't they happy? Hunger and thirst. Okay, maybe it's time to reduce the work hours to 18 instead of 20. Because we do have water. We do have plenty of food. Carrots are coming a bit low. I will actually delete this storage area right here. We will not need you. We have 5 open positions. Again, overall not too bad. But one thing that we could probably consider doing is adding a bit more beaver supply in here. Which makes me think you actually need to move somewhere else. And I kind of would like you to be closer to our wood choppers. So let me remove, I guess, you. 81%. So once you are chopped down, you get replaced by the grinder stone here. And then we can build staircases up this way and up in this direction for our additional housing buildings over here. All right. What else can we do while we're... I guess technically we're not really waiting. We probably need a bit more power supply over here, especially once we bring in the smelter. So smelter could go... Oh man, really? Yeah, I don't like destroying material, but, you know, 2 logs will be okay. Although we are, again, like really short on logs for now. Which again is in part because we're wrapping up these levees over here. So almost ready to place down the smelter. We are getting some scrap metal. And I think it will be worthwhile to have one storage area over here for scrap metal. Scrap metal, and then we're gonna add one more like this for metal blocks. This will store 20 metal blocks plus whatever is left in the smelter. So almost there, almost there. We place it here. We do have the space to put down our manual power wheel. And this, yeah, it eats up a lot of beaver power, putting them all in there. But like in their shaming wheels, so to speak. But we'll definitely benefit from this, as we don't need to rely on any water supply. All right, put in the power wheel just over there, and then make sure... Actually, let me destroy you, because right now we left a gap here to technically connect all of these with power supplies. So if we are to place you here, we can also very easily, once we're up this way, these two are connected, I'll remove this path, and then we can put a corner in there and get up here into this direction. All right, we also don't need this path right here, which means we can very quickly build another storage pile for metal blocks. And nothing to do in range. Let's sort you out. Yeah, you're being deleted. And yes, you have technically one tree that's still growing, but that means you're also getting deleted. And that also means we have more workforce for us to work with. This also means we don't need the staircase here. Technically, we don't even need that staircase here anymore. Then let's remove you and you. And then we can just put in a levee on both of these. I guess I'll leave it at 1 for now. And then we put another levee in up here, which will close this off. Well, at least at some point. All right. For now, I'm going to call this an episode. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.